Welcome Kenora residents to this virtual community presentation on the City of Kenora's 5-year Tourism and Economic Development Strategy project. The purpose of this presentation is to provide Kenora residents and stakeholders with an opportunity to learn about the 5-year Tourism and Economic Development Strategy project, including its development process and related contents. Residents and stakeholders will be able to provide comments and input on contents discussed in this presentation through an online survey, the link to which will be provided at the end of the presentation and on the City of Kenora website. The city's existing economic development plan and 5-year tourism strategy were developed in 2012 and 2014. Both documents are now past their life cycle. An updated strategy is required to ensure city efforts in promoting tourism and economic development in Kenora are consistent with the community today and where opportunities exist over the next 5 years and beyond. In addition, the city recently adopted a Municipal Accommodations Tax in 2018, which has provided the city with new resources to invest in tourism and economic development initiatives. A new strategy is needed to ensure that use of these funds is done so in a manner that aligns with the broader economic and tourism objectives of the community. Finally, to complete this project, the city retained Urban Systems, a consulting firm with an office in Winnipeg, to develop the new strategy. The strategy's purpose is twofold. First, it's to provide broader direction for tourism and economic development in Kenora by establishing goals, objectives, and a list of tactics for the city to pursue in the future. The second purpose is to provide a detailed framework that will direct the use and allocation of municipal accommodation tax funds into eligible projects that promote tourism and economic development in the community. The strategy was developed through a 4-phase process. Phase 1 included conducting a background review and situational analysis to understand current and anticipated future tourism and economic conditions in Kenora. The second phase included engaging the local business community through a business investor survey. Phase 3 involved completing 3 strategic planning sessions with city staff and representatives from local businesses, business organizations, and neighboring First Nation communities. Phase 4 involved developing a draft strategy and reviewing it with city staff before completing a finalized strategy document. The 5-year tourism and economic development strategy includes the following contents: an introduction section at the beginning to provide an overview of the strategy and a description of its purpose and intent, a community economic profile and summary of the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis completed as part of this project, a strategy for growth which details several goals, objectives, and tactics for the city to pursue in promoting and facilitating tourism and economic development in the community, guidelines for the use and allocation of the Municipal Accommodations Tax, including criteria for eligible projects that may be funded through that program, and recommendations for monitoring and evaluating progress being made on the strategy. The strategy includes a vision statement, which articulates the long-term aspirational objectives of the strategy and future city efforts in promoting tourism and economic development in Kenora. The vision statement included in the strategy is: Kenora will continue to grow as a regional service center with a resilient local economy that is supported by a 4-season tourism sector, high quality of life, and a supportive local environment for businesses and entrepreneurs. Ideally, all future city efforts and allocation of resources in tourism and economic initiatives will work towards achieving this broader overall vision. The strategy includes 3 pillars, which represent key areas of focus. The first is tourism development, which is a sector-specific focus on growing Kenora's local tourism industry and position as a service center for regional tourism operations. The second pillar is economic development, which includes a focus on the growth and diversification of Kenora's broader economy, including growth and retention of local business and building partnerships to facilitate economic growth. The final pillar is tourism and economic foundations, which are non-sector specific areas influenced or determined by a municipality that are important to creating conditions for tourism and economic growth. For each of the key pillars, goals, objectives, and tactics have been established. Goals describe the desired outcome for each pillar that emerged from the strategy's planning process. Objectives are descriptive statements that articulate how the goals are to be achieved and what must be accomplished in the next 5 years and beyond. And tactics, which are actions proposed to achieving goals and objectives that include lists of potential projects, services, programs, and other specific initiatives to implement as resources become available to the city. The strategy includes a goal for each pillar. For tourism development, the goal is to develop Kenora into a four-season destination. For economic development, the goal is to generate new development, business growth, and economic diversity. For tourism and economic foundations, the goal is to position Kenora as an attractive, responsive, and investment-friendly destination. For each one of these goals and related pillars, a list of objectives and tactics have been developed. We'll now go through each of those objectives and tactics over the following slides. To achieve the goal of developing Kenora into a four-season destination, the following objectives have been established. Enhancing four-season visitor experiences, developing Kenora as an arts, culture, and heritage destination, improving lake access and boating infrastructure, and growing Kenora as a host community for special events, tournaments, conferences, and other events. Tactics to achieve these objectives and goal include developing marketing and promotion of local and regional tourism offerings, developing off-season focused programming, facilities, and infrastructure, increasing activities and awareness of Kenora's rich history, culture, and arts, enhancing services and infrastructure that promote lake use and access, including docking and boat launches, supporting event development and growth in Kenora for a range of events including tournaments, conferences, and other activities. Looking at the economic development pillar and goal of generating new development, business growth, and economic diversity, the following objectives have been established. First, to activate development on Kenora's vacant and underutilized lands, and second, to support growth and retention of local businesses in the community. To achieve these objectives and goals, tactics that have been identified include improving development readiness of residential, commercial, and industrial lands in the community, growing awareness of development opportunities, incentives, and partnership opportunities that exist in developing vacant and underutilized lands, establishing a centralized business hub and resource center to support local businesses, positioning Kenora to take advantage of sector-specific opportunities, including new resource development opportunities in the region, providing supports to local businesses through community partners such as the Northwest Business Center, and prioritizing COVID-19 response and relief efforts to assist local businesses. To achieve the goal of positioning Kenora as an attractive, responsive, and investment-friendly destination, the following objectives have been established. First, to support Indigenous tourism and economic investment in Kenora. Secondly, to conduct planning necessary to support tourism and economic development. And thirdly, to invest in strategic infrastructure that supports tourism and economic growth. Achieving these objectives can be done through the following tactics, including partnering with local First Nations to promote tourism and economic development, updating city plans, policies, and procedures to be more investment ready, making strategic investments in harbor town, harborfront, beaches, and parks, including implementing the direction of the Harborfront Business Development Plan, and facilitating housing development as a mechanism to supporting community growth. As mentioned earlier in this presentation, in 2018, the city adopted a bylaw to establish a Municipal Accommodations Tax. This additional fee levied on all short-term accommodation stays in the city is directed back to the community for use in promoting tourism and economic development. A portion of the funds are dedicated for the Destination Marketing Program, which is an ongoing initiative. All remaining funds collected from accommodations are to be used through the city to promote economic and tourism objectives. The 5-year tourism and economic development strategy is the primary guide for the use and allocation of these remaining funds. To provide a framework for the future use and allocation of municipal accommodation tax dollars, the strategy includes a goal and corresponding objectives and list of eligible project criteria for future MAT tax funds. The goal of the MAT program is to allocate MAT funds effectively to promote tourism and economic development. The objectives for the MAT program include supporting eligible projects that meet strategy goals and objectives, supporting eligible projects not regularly included in city budgets, identify and approve eligible projects openly and transparently, and ensuring investment of MAT funds yield tangible outcomes. The list of eligible project criteria includes capital projects, including planning, design, engineering, and construction costs, events, including financial support, marketing, and other supports to new and existing events, services and programs, including business supports administered by city or city partners, and reserve funds, which include contributions to longer-term city tourism and economic-focused projects. In addition to a list of eligible project criteria, the strategy also includes ineligible project criteria. This includes direct financial supports, or grants transferred directly to an individual for-profit enterprise to subsidize existing business operations, direct financial support or grants to a community group or nonprofit organization whose core mission does not involve tourism or economic development, development or renewal of a core municipal infrastructure that's regularly included in the City of Kenora 5-year capital plan, and services, programs, and community grants typically included in the City of Kenora operational budget. The 5-year tourism and economic development strategy includes a framework that will help identify future eligible projects to be funded through the Municipal Accommodations Tax program. Each year, city staff will identify a list of projects with local stakeholders and submit that list to council for approval. Once approved, city staff will oversee the implementation of the projects identified for that year. To summarize, the 5-year tourism and economic development strategy is a strategic document that will guide future city efforts in promoting tourism and economic development in the community. This includes providing a framework that will guide the future use and allocation of municipal accommodation tax funds to achieve tourism and economic goals and objectives. If you would like to provide comments and share your feedback on this strategy and contents included in this presentation, please see the survey link below. The survey link can also be found on the City of Kenora website. On behalf of the City of Kenora, we thank you for watching this virtual community presentation on the 5-year tourism and economic development strategy. We hope this presentation was informing and look forward to reading all comments received through the online survey. Thank you.